Can't believe I got the fat free. Because we watched Season 8, Episode 18, The Nap. So, Katie.
Hello.
How did
My
you...
voice... Like when the guy on The Simpsons breathes in the balloon air, he goes, "Hi, kid." Oh, it's just regular air. Hi.
Oh, I didn't write down shit. So how did you like the nap?
I'm liking the way this episode is starting. What are you looking up? The things you were supposed to do before we started recording?
I looked up other things.
Okay, so I'll talk. I'll vamp a little while you do that. I laughed out loud at a Kramer moment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first time that I think that's happened. I do feel like they kind of forgot to write the end of some jokes, but it was fine. What did you think?
It was kind of fine. I was maybe like a little bit worse than a mediocre episode. I don't know.
I think it was mediocre. I think it was solidly middle of the road.
Okay.
There was a little too much. You know, if Kramer's balanced, then there's too much Steinbrenner. Or it's something's gotta give, you know?
I enjoyed Steinbrenner.
I did too, but it was...
What didn't I like about this episode?
Yeah,
I don't know. I the episode ended and I was in a bad...
They couldn't end it. They couldn't bring it all together.
Mm-hmm. So The Nap was written by Greg Cavett and Andy Robin. It was directed by Andy Ackerman, and it aired on April 10th, 1997. Screen Crush ranked it as the 139th best episode.
Wow.
Vulture.com had it as the 43rd best episode.
Wow.
And IMDb had it as the 31st best episode. 31st best? That sounds weird. With an 8.7 out of 10.
There aren't even any really memorable lines in here.
I definitely talked about manslaughter.
Or inadvertent life ending? How about unintentional snuff out? I can't believe it's not murder.
So I thought I would ask ChatGPT if it could give me some joke terms for manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
You ready for them?
Yes.
I understand you're looking for humorous terms, but I'm unable to provide jokes that make light of a serious topic like manslaughter. Remember when LMMs were fun? I mean, they were burning down the planet, and they were like, taking away people's, stealing, art from people, but at least they were fun.
Now it's like nanny state.
What were we talking about?
Does it still tell you to eat like rocks every day, at least?
Because it scraped all of the stuff from Twitter. So how do you keep cheese from sticking to a pizza? Use glue.
So I got a pretty bad gash on my hand this week. And I've heard, I've got a real extensive...
Almost a cat scratch.
Yeah, a cat scratched me. Not in anger. We were having fun. But anyway, it's an outdoor cat. So I'm like, I washed it with soap, and then I washed it with antibacterial hand soap. And, in the past, I've put polysporin on stuff. And then I remember hearing like, oh, you shouldn't do that. And I couldn't remember why. So I had the first aid kit out, and you were helping me. And I'm like, find out if I should put polysporin on this or not. And you looked up.
Should you use polysporin on a cat scratch?
Yeah. And it said,
no, you shouldn't use polysporin on cats. It's for human use only.
Thanks, tips. So The Nap.
You want to throw it back to last week?
Okay.
George has figured out that he can take a nap under his desk at work.
How'd you do?
I think I nailed it.
I'll read the synopsis now. Jerry gets a kitchen remodel. George takes naps under his desk. Kramer swims in the East River. Elaine has a misunderstanding about a mattress. Those things happened.
Mm-hmm.
So, we already brought it up. George and Jerry are having coffee outside, I notice a lot of the cold opens that aren't related to anything are outside.
Hmm.
And I wasn't paying attention to what they were wearing, but it could have been just another day.
Yeah, totally.
And
I was about to say, I bet it's like easy to film outside because you can just like, I don't know.
You don't need extras. You just sit them in front of.
Wouldn't it be easier to do it in one of the apartments? Like nothing changes. You can just, I don't know.
Maybe if we give them a bit of grace, they're like, you know, when you're just having coffee with your friend and you have random thoughts. This is that.
Why were they sitting outside? Why weren't they at the coffee shop? What is this place?
I tried to look at what it was called. It had a weird sign out front, but I don't think that was the name of it.
They served one of those cafe lattes.
Cafe latte.
Can't believe it's not murder. Do you remember when they introduced Can't Believe It's Not Butter?
Of course.
It was all the rage.
What was it? Just whipped oil?
It was margarine that had like butter flavoring in it.
Oh.
So instead of like margarine that didn't, it was just better tasting margarine. Margarine.
I didn't get that joke on South Park for the longest time. That the girl that Butters loved was margarine.
Oh. It sounds like margarine.
Yeah, I get it now.
Oh, okay.
Elaine's going on a walking date with Hal.
I think that's a pretty good first date. Good way to meet someone.
Oh, yeah. You stay in motion. You can react to stuff that's going on.
You don't like them, just keep on walking.
You don't have to look at them in the face.
Just, like,
excuse me, I've seen an old friend.
Slyly don't go down a set of subway stairs. Slyly go down a set of subway stairs.
Oh, I know why this name sounds familiar. So I'm not sure why throughout this episode, Kramer gets Hal's last name wrong.
Kitzmiller?
And at one point he goes, Langerhans? And I knew I recognized that name.
Recognized it so well you have to Google it?
Listen, I knew it was part of the body, and I'm looking at what part of the body it's talking about. The islets of Langerhans are a group of cells in the pancreas.
We didn't do the guest stars.
Who's Hal Pancreas?
Vince Grant played the role of Hal Kitzmiller. He was in Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, Dreamgirls, and Dracula, Dead and Loving It. And then the only other person I wrote down was Stephen Lee played the role of Conrad, or Connie, or Con.
I prefer Conrad.
He was in War Games, Burlesque, and La Bamba.
Does he play a contractor in all of these movies?
No, in War Games, he was a general.
Huh.
In Burlesque, he was, I think just his character was listed as like Steve. And in La Bamba, he played the Big Bappa.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Spoiler alert.
Hello, baby.
He dies.
Yeah, that happens in the movie.
He also died in real life.
This is true.
So, I wrote down that Mr. Wilhelm is back from the cult.
Yeah, it was
with no mention.
It was a sitcom in the 90s. You didn't have to have continuity.
I did laugh when Elaine's on this walking date, and first thing Hal says is, "You know, Twinkies aren't cooked." He's already. That would raise a red flag for me. You're not well.
I've definitely heard the Twinkies aren't cooked thing.
Well, I don't doubt that it's true. It's just a weird thing to say on a first date.
So on their date, they talked about how Hal has a bad back. He only buys
ergonomic furniture
from his ergonomic furniture store.
Mm-hmm.
And Elaine said they all have bad names like Back in Business and
Good Vertebrations.
And he said, mine's not like that. It's the Lumbar Yard. So I asked...
oh my God.
I first, because I was trying to do it and talk at the same time, I said numerous names for ergonomic furniture store. And they gave me a lot. But then I said, give me humorous names for an ergonomic. And it's an Ergo My Gosh.
What?
Ergo what now?
Oh, these aren't good puns.
Straighten up and fly right to our store. Spine tingler furniture in brackets in a good way. Cloud butt furniture.
What?
So comfy, you'll forget your name.
This is like Chinese stores on Amazon.
Cherish moments.
Oh.
Not bad.
I get it. Because they're chairs.
The Upright Citizens Furniture Depot. And then the Back Attack Shack.
Okay. Some winners in there.
There were some... swing some roundabouts.
What was it? Soft butt store?
Cloud butt furniture. Sit happens.
Okay.
The Slouch Potato Sanctuary.
You got humorous names?
Yeah. But then after the date, Elaine gets a little surprise at her front door.
A package delivery.
How do you feel about this?
Sending someone a mattress?
Well, the forwardness of it, the
it's
ridiculousness.
insane. Yeah, this is wild. You went on one date. Even buying someone any gift before your second date is a bit crazy.
Furniture like that is not a gift. It's an obligation.
You got to get rid of your old mattress. What if you really like your mattress?
Didn't even ask, like,
what size is your bed? Yeah.
That would be a very forward question on a first date.
What size is your bed? Maybe he judged by her height, which he said was 5'8".
5'8", 110 pounds.
There's no way on earth Julia Louis-Dreyfus is 5'8".
That's why she was so flattered by his poor estimation skills and eyesight.
Who's voicing Steinbrenner right now?
So this is the first episode where Larry David had come back since season 7.
Oh.
To just do the voice of Steinbrenner. This was the first time, however, that he was given lines to do. Previously, he would just ad-lib everything.
Oh, I see.
And so the writers were actually worried about whether or not he would agree to do lines in the first place, and he did. He said it was a bit of a strange experience, but it worked out in the end. I thought it was it was weird and funny enough that I kind of assumed it was ad-libbed.
I liked when his grandchildren showed up and he goes, "Hey, you little kids, who are you? Shorty? Girl?"
Yeah.
And then later, "Whoa, whoa, 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 fire in the hole."
Some good lines.
Yeah, real Emmy nominated stuff there. So I laughed out loud at Kramer when he's complaining to Jerry about the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, he'd been swimming for about 3 hours. And at
Aqua Fitness started?
Yeah. It was like swimming through a flabby-armed spanking... I can't even say it.
Flabby-armed spanking machine.
I wanted to bring up that our kid had swimming lessons. And at the same time, in the same pool, there was Aqua Fitness. And she had a really soft-spoken swimming teacher that session. And Aqua Fitness is going on with the beats and the instructor yelling stuff. And she was so upset because she could never hear what they were supposed to do next. So every week was like tears because of stupid Aqua Fitness. And I asked her, did you ask the teacher to speak up? Or did you say, what are we doing next? No. But
hopefully it's not Aqua Fitness. Hopefully it's not swimming through a flabby-armed spanking machine.
I also did laugh when the father and son are looking through that binocular thing on the pier. And there's someone in the water. That's probably just a dead body, son. The mob, when they kill someone, they just throw them in the East River.
There's some other guys out there. Were they moving?
They were floating, but they were out there. What hat size are you?
It depends. I can sometimes...
Shouldn't it not depend?
Well, I don't know. Some hats are a little bit, I'm either 7 5/8 or 7 3/4, depending on things.
I don't mean any offense, but I assume that Jerry's head is smaller than yours. I feel like he's all hair.
Yeah.
George has got to come up with caps that fit 59,000 people. What if a pinhead shows up?
They wouldn't give out the hats at the game. They'd give out a voucher to get a hat somewhere.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense.
Yeah. And then you don't have to worry about this.
No, he's just picturing a wall of every size of hat, children to bowling ball. You got to try them all on. I tried to get a fitted hat at Sky Dome, and it was either like one size was comically large, next size was just a little bit tight. And it's always just been a little bit tight and leaves a red mark on my forehead.
What are you? You're like 7 1/4?
I don't know.
I think you're 7 1/4. Let me see. Yeah, you're about 7 1/4.
Oh, okay. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
5'8", 110 pounds, 7 1/4 hat size.
I wish. So Steinbrenner's confusing a bomb threat with the threat of nuclear war. Because I think if there's a bomb in the building, you don't want to hide under your desk. You want to leave the building.
Well, I'm sure duck and cover was taught pretty...
it's just ingrained.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about Connie? How did you feel about renovations of a kitchen indoor house?
Well, I would say that I really liked the people who renovated our kitchen because they didn't ask us a lot of questions. The one question they asked that I really respected was, the design said that your outlet has to be here, but the existing one is 1 inch to the left. Do you want to just leave it where it is?
It was a little bit more than 1 inch to the left. It was on like a... But yes, they did ask, and we were like, no, we don't care.
Yeah, they're sensible people. I didn't like Connie. I didn't find anything really funny about his interactions with Jerry, but I did find Jerry's new kitchen very funny.
Yeah. I liked I think the brief scene with George, where George was like, I want to build like this. You want to build like this? Like this. No, like this, like this. And I was like, oh, okay. I didn't remember that George then got like upset with all the questions. I actually thought the joke was going to be with George. It was like 2 or 3 questions, and then he like did everything. Yeah. And then with Jerry, it was like asking.
That's where it was looking. They should have left it that way.
So Connie was based off of and I wish I had his name written down, the prop master for Seinfeld.
Skip Collector? No, he's an editor.
And he would have a habit, and they'd be like, okay, like we need a spoon. And he would come back and have like 20 spoons. And then he'd be like, which one of these do you want? Thinking that he was being helpful, but
sounds like a pretty bad prop master.
Extra work of having to choose what spoon it was.
Was he still working on the show at this point?
He was. They said they never were sure if he like actually realized that this was him.
I'm guessing
Although in like season 9, he eventually like stopped and would just like make a decision.
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
And then they would do the opposite because he made a bad one?
I don't know. So
I forget when this is, but at some point people walk past a produce stand. And it's when Elaine and Hal meet Kramer.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And the produce at the produce stand is arranged not by grouping by what fruit or vegetable it is. It goes aubergine, courgette, pineapple. Aubergine, courgette, pineapple. All down the row. So, prop master, what are you doing? Oh no, actually, that's probably set deck. That's different people.
Different person. When did Elaine and Kramer get this like
buddy, flirty?
Touchy-feely, yeah.
I don't know. She's just going along with his. I'll get your key back to you ASAP. He's in such a good mood because he's all limber.
He's all loose from swimming. I was going to look up how far it is between the 2 bridges.
We'll correct it later. Did you notice Kramer's webbed gloves?
Yeah, it really bothered me.
Why?
It bothered me how Kramer was swimming with fins and webbed gloves. Not so much the webbed gloves, more the fins. Like his legs coming all the way out of the water and like making a huge splash. Like that's not how you would keep it in the water.
Yeah.
So that but
I was surprised he was wearing fins. He wasn't wearing fins at the pool.
Presumably.
So he's got himself a wetsuit or whatever, and fins and webbed gloves. Just because it's the river? I guess you got to work against the tides or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks funnier having him all dressed up in all of those things.
Is Elaine wearing fins when she swims by?
I don't know. She has that flutterboard. I didn't actually realize it was Elaine at first.
No, me neither. Why isn't she swimming? Why she got a flutterboard?
Maybe Julia Louis-Dreyfus isn't a strong swimmer.
Maybe she didn't want to get big arms.
She wanted to just lean out.
She is 5'8" after all. She's got to maintain that.
If she's 5'8" and only 110 pounds, she probably needs to bulk up a little bit. Hey Google, what's your BMI if you are 5'8", 110-pound female?
BMI is a shame.
I didn't understand.
It did. What if you are a 5,811-pound female? Oh, AI. Oh, oof. Man. It's a BMI of 16.6 and is considered to be underweight.
Yeah.
I don't know why we need a BMI to tell us that.
Well, she clams. She scallops.
Don't you catch scallops in, like, deep ocean?
No, don't you grow them on ropes like mussels?
I didn't think so because I asked the first question. You're talking about vertical farming or like aqua farming?
Yeah. Or is that how you grow oysters?
I know you can do oysters and mussels and clams.
But not scallops?
I think scallops. I don't know why I thought scallops were...
I guess...
Like, remember in The Little Mermaid, the scallops are...
They're just swimming around?
Swimming around?
I guess they're not attached to anything.
Like, you know what a scallop shell looks like?
Well, yeah, I do now. We're doing the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it boops around in the ocean. Can you seed scallops in a tank in an aquaculture farm?
I don't know.
What's a big hunk bar? George has a big hunk. I think it's a chocolate bar in his desk. Is it real?
Just empty calories and male curiosity.
Hey, Georgie?
So you're talking about the scene when the bomb robot machine goes in to inspect his desk. Was that stop motion animated?
The robot moving?
Yeah. Not when it was POV of the robot, but when they're like looking at the
really
robot
awkward.
and it
I think they I think it was just large and they couldn't smoothly move it in the set. Maybe it was. So they couldn't finish any jokes. Elaine goes, "I'll meet you at the coffee shop." And then she splashes Kramer in the face. And then the credits roll. And then the end sequence. Jerry comes in. His kitchen is back to normal. He opens the cupboard. George is in there. He puts in a thing. He goes back. "I can't believe I got the low fat." Mug to the camera.
I think it would have been better if he had just like opened the cupboard, put it in, closed it, and just like walked away, like not acknowledging George sleeping on the shelf. Maybe George should get that cabinet with the big drawers that the Japanese businessmen were sleeping in if it hadn't been destroyed by Jerry.
Exactly. He likes a cozy space.
He's a cozy boy.
That's all I have. That's the end of the episode.
Oh, they did talk about stuffed crust pizza?
Be years before they find another place to put cheese on a pizza.
I believe I have said that before. You know, that was just because the government was buying milk from farmers and turning it into cheese and then selling it at a discount to pizzerias. And they were like, "Use more cheese." And they were like, "Where do you want us to put it?" You're like, "We don't know."
Are you serious?
Yeah.
A dairy cartel ruining us all.
Government cheese.
Well, I had some corrections from last week.
Okie dokie.
So Raul Castro is alive.
Oh, good.
He stepped down as El Presidente in 2018. As of last week, you What was the number that you said I would be over in hours of Tropico played? 500.
Yeah.
You are incorrect.
Oh.
All Tropico titles, I have played 311 hours.
Mm.
But that was last week. And then because we had this conversation, I fired up Tropico 6, which is really hard. So let's call it 320. Oh, we were talking about the Billy Madison bullies. There's one in like every grade, right?
Oh, yeah. That's a family.
The O'Doyles.
Yeah, okay.
O'Doyle's rule.
Yeah.
So one of those O'Doyles was like a child actor who auditioned. And the other three were just redheaded people in Toronto because they filmed it in Toronto and they were like, they put on an ad on the radio. Are you a red-haired man between, or are you a red-haired person between, 12 and 20?
You could have been in Billy Madison.
I'm not a man. And we were talking about the beaver tail menu, which I had a look at. It's disgusting. You didn't tell me you can get a hot dog wrapped in a beaver tail. That I would try.
Really?
The beaver tail wouldn't have any sugar on it. It would just be dough. It'd be like a giant pig in a blanket.
You put it that way. It's okay.
Yeah. So next week is the yada yada.
Not the yada yada, the yada yada.
Oh my God. What's it about?
George has a girlfriend and yada yada yada. Some stuff happens. We get an episode.
Okay. Well, I can't wait.
Well.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Believe it or not, this is our podcast. Please subscribe at the end. If you subscribed, we would be happy. Please subscribe to us. Believe it or not, it's our podcast.
Is that a Seinfeld reference?